Okay, so what's been on my mind lately? Well, I've been checking a lot of things, doing a lot of research on the Fukushima Daiichi reactor. You know, they had that accident 2.5 years ago, and everyone's forgotten about it. The newspapers aren't mentioning it or anything. It's as though it didn't exist. But guess what's going on over there? Okay, they have finally admitted that they have 3 melted down cores. As these things burn into the earth, they hit water tables and give off giant bursts of steam. Okay, but that's the least of the problems. They've been dumping water into these plants for 2.5 years now, which means that not only is the sea terribly contaminated beyond this, and it's actually been measured in California, but the land, the ground underneath the whole facility is now like sponge. Now, the worst part is 100 foot in the air, they have a pool with 1,300 spent fuel rods in it that are covered with water. Best case scenario, if they're able to get that out of there, it's going to be a problem because many of those rods are damaged or bent. They put a crane up there trying to do some work, and the crane collapsed. If any of those rods fall into that building, if they're exposed to air, if that collapses in any way, and it's teetering right now. I've researched pictures of the building, and the thing is shaky. There's giant parts of it actually missing. That thing is just teetering up there, 100 foot in the air, 1,300 fuel rods. If they fall into the building, it's going to be a horror. Worst case scenario, catch this, the end of life on Earth as we know it. Now, within the next 60 days, they are going to try to start removing those fuel rods. The Japanese government doesn't have the resources to do it. The company has showed throughout this that it's inept. It built these big storage tanks that hold contaminated water. Instead of welding them together, they bolted them together. They're leaking. Big surprise there. You know, you take waterlogged ground and you sit a storage tank on it, which is bolted together, it's going to leak. So both the Japanese government and the TEPCO, which was running the thing, they're both totally inept. And the best joke is that I have heard in a long time, they're going to hold the 2020 Olympics there. I got news for you. It will be a miracle if Tokyo is still inhabitable in 2020. So keep your fingies crossed for the next 2 weeks. And those of you that are religious may just want to pray your asses off. I'm going to give you a link to this article. I hope this link will work. But I'm going to give you a link to this article. And you read this article. If you can sleep good at night, you're doing better than I am.